These are the submachine guns that fueled the fight across every front of World War II. From the trenches of Europe to the jungles of the Pacific. Each weapon tells a story of innovation, desperation, and survival. Starting off with United States Thompson M1A1. A true workhorse for the American military. This simplified version ditched the complicated selector switch and eliminated the muzzle compensator. It defined the look of the Allied soldier throughout the war. Resing M50. This was often used by the Marines early in the war before the Thompson became widely available. While accurate, its complicated mechanism meant it was sensitive to dirt. It didn't last long on the front lines. United Defense M42 designed primarily for export. This weapon found its way into resistance hands across Europe. Chambered in 9mm parabellum, it was rugged and featured a distinctive dual magazine system. M2 Hyde, a failed American prototype. Though it showed great potential, it competed directly against the M3 grease gun. Unfortunately, it was deemed too complicated for mass wartime production. Continuing with United Kingdom Sten Mark II. This represented the absolute peak of wartime expediency. Simple, cheap, and easy to hide, the 2 Malawian Quachas became the staple weapon for British and Commonwealth forces. It was effective if sometimes prone to accidental discharge. The later Mark V would refine the design with a wooden stock and better build quality. Leicester Mark I, essentially a high-quality copy of the German MP28. It was used primarily by the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force for guard duties. It was solid and reliable but far too expensive for general infantry issue. Sterling Patchet. While famous in the post-war era, the Patchet prototype was actually trailed late in World War II. It was an extremely refined design, though it never saw widespread adoption until after 1945. BSA Welgun, a clandestine weapon developed for special operations by the British. It was designed to be easily disassembled and concealed, making it perfect for agents operating behind enemy lines. A very quiet, specialized tool. Next on the list is Australia. Owen gun, famous for its distinct top-loading magazine. This was Australia's highly successful design. Its reliable functionality in jungle environments made it incredibly popular with troops in the Pacific Theatre. Austin, this Australian weapon was a fusion of the British Sten and the German MP40, incorporating the best features of both. It proved serviceable, though it was eventually overshadowed by the reliable Owen. Moving on to Germany, MP40, the quintessential German submachine gun of the war. Its iconic folding stock and simple reliable operation made it highly sought after by soldiers on all fronts. This defined squad-level firepower for the Wehrmacht MP38. This was the precursor to the famous MP40. Constructed mostly of machined metal parts, it was expensive and slow to produce. The transition to stamping was critical for German mass production later on. MP34, manufactured in Austria, this was one of the finest submachine guns of the era. It was incredibly heavy and robust, often called the Rolls-Royce of its type. Extremely expensive to produce, MP28, a direct descendant of the early Bergmann designs, this weapon saw wide use by German police and SS units in the opening years of the war. It was slow-firing but very reliable. Irma EMP, an important early design that influenced many subsequent German weapons, including the MP38. It was primarily exported and used by the SS before standardized issue became common. MP 3008, Germany's final desperate attempt to create an inexpensive machine pistol late in the war. It was a crude copy of the Sten gun utilizing fixed wooden stocks and produced in fragmented workshops. Next on the list is Soviet Union PPSH-41, nicknamed the Papa Shah. This was the Soviet answer to rapid high-volume firepower with a rate of fire exceeding 900 rounds per minute. It was devastating in urban and close-quarters combat. PPS-43, a highly simplified wartime design developed during the siege of Leningrad. It was lighter and much easier to manufacture than the PPSH-41, proving incredibly rugged and effective. PPS-42. This was the direct prototype that led to the development of the PPS-43. It proved the efficiency of simplifying the submachine gun design for mass production under harsh Soviet conditions. PPD-40, the predecessor to the famous PPSH-41. While well-made, it was too complex and slow for Soviet wartime manufacturing demands. It used distinctive drum and box magazines. PPD-34, one of the earliest Soviet machine pistols, heavily influenced by Finnish and German designs. It was used in small numbers, setting the stage for the mass production models that followed. Moving on to Italy, Beretta Model 38, considered by many to be one of the best submachine guns of World War II. Known for its high-quality construction and excellent balance, it remained the standard Italian issue for nearly the entire conflict. FINAB-43, a unique Italian design featuring a folding stock and a complicated recoiling barrel system to reduce its rate of fire. It was expensive and produced in very limited numbers late in the war. TZ-45, another late-war Italian weapon utilizing a simplified stamped steel construction. It notably featured a grip safety and a muzzle brake. It saw limited operational use before the end of the war. OVP-1 1918, an early Italian machine pistol design based on a fixed automatic carbine. It saw minor usage in the opening stages of World War II, having already served through the First World War. Beretta Model 1918, the very first machine pistol issued by the Italian Army, adapted from a previous rifle design, it served mostly as a police and rear echelon weapon during the Second Conflict. Moving on to Finland, Suomi KP Swain 31. This Finnish masterpiece was famously robust and accurate. Its high-quality construction and large-capacity drum magazines proved deadly against Soviet invaders. A design highly respected by all sides. Next up, Japan. Type 100. The primary Japanese submachine gun of the war. This was often built with distinctive permanent bipod and a bayonet lug reflecting traditional Japanese infantry doctrine. Type 2, a highly simplified experimental Japanese machine pistol. It was designed to address the complexity of the Type 100, but saw very little production before the war concluded. Let's move on to France. MAS 38. This French weapon was chambered for a low-hourd unique cartridge, reducing recoil and making it easy to control. It was notable for its unusual angled receiver design. Next on the list is Hungary Danuvia 39M. Hungary's standard submachine gun early in the war. It was a large powerful weapon using the 9mm Mauser route. It was known for its distinct folding vertical grip. Danuvia 43M, a refined and shortened version of the earlier 39M design. This model was intended to be more manageable and efficient for frontline troops. Let's move on to Romania. IDA M1941, Romania's well-designed and respected indigenous submachine gun. It was noted for its clean lines and high build quality using the standard German 9mm round. Next up, Poland Home Army of Resistance. Mors 139. A very advanced pre-war Polish design. It was high quality but complex and expensive, and only a small number were completed before the German invasion. A highly priced weapon. Błyskawica Polish for lightning. This was a resistance-built weapon designed to be easily manufactured in secret workshops. It closely imitated the Sten gun and was critical during the Warsaw Uprising. But Chut 1, another unique domestically produced Polish resistance weapon. This model was chambered for a small pistol cartridge and intended for covert operations by partisan units, KIS, developed by the Polish Home Army Resistance. This was one of the most successful clandestine designs. It had great features including a folding stock, but production was severely limited. And our last category is Czechoslovakia 383 Zambian Kwacha. Czechoslovakia's sturdy, reliable, and unique design. It was one of the few submachine guns of the era, featuring a quick-change barrel and a bipod, allowing for light support.